Hello. Sorry, I started streaming, then I started messing about um, with the screen. Hello, I've got a coffee. I'm still not right, am I? There you go. That's better, I think. That's right. That's right. Look, there we go. Um, hello. So it's time for day two of the Easter holidays. 1001 films before 50. We're going to start in about 6 minutes or so. So we're doing Hard Day's Night, the Beatles film. This is number 260 of 1001. This is number 29 since we started doing the project in January. End of January, middle of January, whenever we started. So yeah, tomorrow morning, Shane is the 30th film of the project. In just just over 2 months, which is all right. And I've done 22 films. Not on the list this year as well. So this is number 51 of 2022. Which is crazy. So we'll read from the book in a minute. We'll read the entry. I'll cough all the way through it. Talk to no one, obviously. Earpiece in, so you can't hear it. We have no copyright issues. If you would like to follow the project on Twitter, we're slowly building up our followers. We've got 18 followers, and only one of those is me. So that's good. You can follow us on Twitter at 1K1Films before 50. Got the timestamp in the corner as well, so if you join us halfway through and you fancy watching it, it's on Prime, Amazon Prime. So I am actually going to just change this up here in the top corner. Not on the screen, just on the description of the video. I can't spell. Got dust on my keyboard. Available on Prime. There we go. I'm not even sure if that updates whilst I'm streaming. I don't know. It's all new to me, isn't it? Really, it's all just for fun. So I'm in on my own. The Canadian is at work. She might join us on the chat later on, she said, just to say hello. I'm sure why she's on an official work break, obviously. Yeah. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. I'm not a huge fan of bands doing films. I didn't mind the Monkees when I was a kid, but they weren't really a band, were they? They were put together for the TV show. And isn't there a really crazy Monkees film called Head, which was co-written by Jack Nicholson, I think, or written by Jack Nicholson? Well, I've not seen that either. And the Foo Fighters have got one out at the moment, and the Studio 666. I keep saying a lot this morning, don't I? Which is incredibly annoying. Just fast forward through this bit. Wait until the timestamp starts going and watch the filmy bits. Wilfrid Bramble in this, of course, most famous for being Albert Steptoe in Steptoe & Son. In fact, his name, obviously the Beatles are on there, but individual name, his name is the biggest name on the poster. Doesn't he play the manager, something like that? Which is that not ironic in that Brian Epstein, the manager, was gay, and Wilfrid Bramble was also secret gay, wasn't he? Wasn't he arrested for cottaging at one point? Almost ruined his career. Poor bastard. Unreal how people must have lived. Anyway, enough of that. Shall we read from the book at 10:58? Let's have a look at what the entry is. So, 1964. Which is the same year as what else? Same year as Scorpio Rising. Same year as Goldfinger, My Fair Lady. Doctor Strangelove. If you've not seen Doctor Strangelove, see it immediately. Hard Day's Night. Here we go. So, A Hard Day's Night, directed by Richard Lester, of course, who went on um, to direct, or will get the credit for directing Superman 2. 1964, famously described by an overexcited village voice as the Citizen Kane of jukebox movies, Richard Lester's 1964 comedy starring the Beatles and their music may not be quite that, although it is funnier, but it did change the shape of pop music films forever with a witty, social realist script by Liverpudlian playwright Alan Owen and traces of Lester's British surrealist influences. He'd worked with the Beatles' 1950s comic idols, the Goons. A Hard Day's Night takes a day in the life of a hugely successful teen group sensation and turns it into something thrilling. The camera follows the Beatles, who play a recognisable version of themselves, well, you'd think, wouldn't you, through a typical day of being chased by fans, hanging around, fielding idiotic press questions, and at the end, actually playing. Lester gave the four members of the band just enough to do, most notably Ringo Starr, whose affecting scene on a canal towpath with a young boy was enhanced by the fact that Starr was monumentally hungover, so we'll watch out for that. Lennon, McCartney, Harrison, and Starr come across as likeable, slightly rebellious, intelligent young men who, in the tradition of realistic Northern England dramas, are down to earth, unpretentious, and prone to seeing through the falseness of others. I fought the war for the likes of you, says a derby-hatted old-timer to Starr, who replies, I bet you're sorry you won. This constant rejection of just about everything the TV producers, ad men, authority in general, might have aged badly were it not contrasted with the astonishing force and glamour of the band's music. This combination acted exactly as it was intended, as a blast of propaganda not only for the Beatles, but also for the much vaunted younger generation. While A Hard Day's Night cannot be held directly responsible for inventing the counterculture, ousting old Hollywood and ending the Vietnam War, it was seen, absorbed and revered by by a host of future artistic talent, particularly in the United States, where that younger generation found the movie genuinely liberating. The songs are great too. Quote from George Harrison: "None of us think we're good actors, but we're quite happy with the film considering it's our first. It could have been a lot worse." And the band's name is never actually mentioned in the film, even though its working title was The Beatles. There we go. So, that's from the book 1001 Movies. It's the 2021 edition. That's what we're doing here. So we are at a 1 minute past 11. If you've got it queued up, get ready to go. If you've not got it queued up, pause. If you're watching this, get it queued up. Oh, hang on. Need to start my timestamp. I messed it all up yesterday with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I accidentally paused the film and then had to go for a wee halfway through and forgot that I had to pause the timestamp as well. But never mind. Here we go. Right, so if we're ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and play. There you go, and we're away. So obviously, remember, you won't hear anything. I've got it in my ear. I've had issues with. It was Liberty Valance. It couldn't go on YouTube because you could hear the film too much, and Paramount didn't like that. So here we go. A Hard Day's Night. They're all being chased down the street. Bloody hell! That woman really fell over then quite badly. Whilst they're all chasing the Beatles. Victor Spinetti. I love Victor Spinetti. Everything seems to be right. I'm just going to be singing all the way through. This is the thing that's going to get it banned. Tired, yeah. I did A Hard Day's Night at a college cabaret when I was about 18, but I did it in the style of Peter Sellers playing Richard III. If you've not seen Peter Sellers doing Hard Day's Night, you should Google it on YouTube. Make me feel alright. It's the bit where it's when I'm home, feeling you, holding me. Tired, yeah. That's good old Wilfrid Bramble. Reading a magazine called Men Only, ironically. again, the black and white on this film is beautiful. And we're only like, what, 2 minutes in? Proper toe tapping. I think I like this already. It's not on TV much, is it, A Hard Day's Night? When you consider how many films they repeat over and over again, you'd think they'd stick something like this on. I think Help's been on a couple of times on ITV in the afternoon, but I've never watched Help either. It's got Leo McKern in it. So they're on the train. There's Wilfred. They're all in the suits, obviously. A lovely shot there where they're reflected in the mirror. I thought Wilfred Bramble was their manager, unless this is part of it, the whole "he's my grandfather" thing. I've never seen it before, so why am I guessing what the bloody storyline? Okay, Irish accent. Is that John Junkin? They're all doing strange Liverpool accents. Apart from Wilfred Bramble, who's doing an Irish accent. I want me coffee. It's like watching The Quiet Man again. When did Steptoe start? Is that he's very clean, isn't he? Like a reference to that. I mean, this fella here, he plays. Obviously, his bowler hat wasn't supposed to fall off there. Tiny little tie knots. I don't even think they got them that small. No, they're in a reserved car. So I was this like business fella just walked in and sat down. Typical older fella there being a knobhead on the train. Is he? Is he not in the reserved car? There you go. There was the fought the war line. See, what's amusing, of course, now is that these cocky young lads, sticking it to the old fellas, are now the old fellas that we're sticking it to. 43. Yeah, the younger generation. Bloody hell. It is very surrealist. What's the I'm taller than you joke about? Oh, here we go. Great silent acting from Bramble. There you go. Paul signing left-handed. Oh, now some schoolgirls have just got on, and John's gone, look at the talent, let's give them a pull. Definitely 1960s here. Perhaps this is why it's not on TV. There you go. Wilfred Bramble saved them, the schoolgirls, from being pulled by some musicians. Christ! That hasn't aged well, has it? Again, you'd never get this kind of. They've been on a train now for 10 minutes. It's slow, nothing's happened, and there's lots of threatening to beat people up as well and punching someone. Love it. You've got an inferiority complex, it's why I play the drums. Look at that, you can smoke on a train. Oh no, there's a woman with a dog who wants Ringo to come into her compartment. Ringo's certainly the most natural of them. More schoolgirls. Well, found him. did I think he was playing the manager? I'm just like, I don't understand. It really annoyed me that I thought that and it was wrong. So there's 6 of them in this little railway carriage here, including a dog, and only 2 of them are still alive. Bloody hell! This schoolgirl thing is continuing a little too long. We got some more music. I should have known better with a girl like you, schoolgirls. They're playing Snap here, or what? Should it? Where the bloody instruments come from? Even Ringo's got his drums. So how old are they there? 64. Who was the oldest? Was John the oldest? Because George was the youngest, wasn't he? Or was Ringo the oldest? They can only be early 20s, right? Right, Ringo. I think Ringo was the oldest. Again, might be completely wrong. Right, so Ringo was born in 1940, so he's 24. Where are we? Right, let's have a look how old they were. Right, so John Lennon, 1940, so he's 24. Paul McCartney, 42, so he's only 22. And George Harrison, 43, so he's 21. All of them still too old to be chatting up schoolgirls on trains. Even in the 60s. Lots of mop topping. Songs going on for ages. They all look a lot older than like 21 through to 24. There we go. Looks like it's just pulled into the same railway station that it left. Hi, just checking out the haircut. No sound on. A thumbs up if you're having fun. There we go. There's my thumbs up, especially for the Canadian. So does the haircut okay? Looks good from the side as well. Nice. There you go. Thank you. Into the taxis, straight out the other side. That old gag. I mean, this really happened to him, didn't it? A really good haircut is what the Canadian's saying. Poor old John Junkie. I mean, so somebody has to get the full drum kit as well. I mean, they probably didn't even need to set up these bits. They probably just went, we'll get out of the train station, get into a car, we'll see what happens. Oh, the number of hit and runs I bet they got into. Lots of cold shiver. Triangular sandwiches with the crust cut off. Joke there at Ringo's massive nose. Bloody hell. No fam Alpha Ringo. Oh, just the one. Bloody hell, they're all having a go at Ringo's nose. Oh, gets his real name mentioned as well. Mr. Richard Starkey. That's you, they told him. Wilfrid Bramble will go instead. Bloody Irish accent, Christ. Come Ed! Proper written by a Scouser. They're off out, obviously. Wilfred's going to go to the Cirque Club there. He's swapping clothes here. So we can go to the. There we go. Want to be a man? We're having a bit of a dance. Grandad, everyone's entitled to two. Yeah, for some reason, Phil, I thought Wilfred Bramble played the manager, and then he turns out to be the granddad, and I'm like, absolutely no idea what's going on. It's decent though. I mean, we are on to our third song in 20 minutes as well. Whilst people are just dancing about in the old club, but at least these aren't schoolgirls, so that's all right. We go card game 64, same year as Goldfinger. Yeah, and pretty decent jokes as well, to be honest. Wilfred Bramble's got his decent teeth in, it looks like, as well. A bit of French there as well. It's weird that George went out in a shirt and tie, and now he's got a turtleneck on. Oh, Wilfred Bramble's amazing. But it's like it's Steptoe and Son, and they basically went, "Oh, we need to cast the Laurence Olivier's of like British acting at the time to be in it." Like proper Harry H. Corbett was considered like the greatest actor of his generation. Like doing it nowadays and getting Kenneth Branagh to play Albert Steptoe. Tom Hardy as Harold. Oh no, there's a remake. Another song. Here we go. They appear to have gone to a nightclub that's only playing Beatles songs. Hello. Yeah, make sure you do mute me for the Teams meeting. You definitely don't need me in the background going, "What the fucking hell's going on here?" during your Teams meeting. Yeah, they go to a nightclub that only plays Beatles songs. Amazingly, it's a great film. Proper stick it on in the background whilst you're doing other stuff type film as well. Oh well, if that's what you're saying, well as well, Hazel, then that's fine. Um, it does help, doesn't it? If you don't like the Beatles, it's not a great film. But full of full of British character actors where you just go, oh yeah, I know him from loads of things, but don't know his name. It's a good job that they loved them and didn't live them. Can you imagine? You got up in the morning and your mum and dad were dressed as Lennon and McCartney. For me, the Rolling Stones are just a bit. They're a bit creepy, aren't they? They're all bloody. I don't know. There's just something off about them. And I'm not saying that Paul's not creepy because he's a bit, but they're all a bit kind of. They were they were like you'd possibly be happy-ish about your daughter dating a Beatle, but not a Rolling Stone. I like how he's took his clothes to go to the the gambling place, but not give him his clothes to put on. Yeah, the Stones were like I don't know, and then you get we'll get Ronnie Wood to join as well, and you go oh that's made everything better, hasn't it? The oldie looks quite clean to me joke. Continuing. Oh yes, well. Bye. 180 guineas. Yeah, but then Paul McCartney shows up, doesn't he? As his uncle in one as well. Is it in the fourth one? And you just kind of go, oh, the fourth or the fifth one, they all merge into one, and you kind of go, what? And and Keith Richards, when he pops up as his dad, you kind of go, yeah, all right. But then Paul McCartney pops up as his uncle, and he just looks like you literally go, "Well, that's Paul McCartney dressed up as a pirate." You don't. It completely takes you out of the film. Not that they're realistic, but you know what I mean. The old shaving foam on the mirror there, with to make sure the camera angle's right. Must have been quite difficult. Wonder what colour that submarine is in the bath. There you go, he's got his pants on. That's lucky. Clearly not in the bath anymore. Before you get killed by all these this crowd of people. Right, I'm getting some nuts. Bear with me. You can't blow your nose on it up there. Look at that. Is that product placement before product placement there? Those bottles of martini. It's alright, Cicero. I've not seen the second one. It's okay. I think what annoyed me about the second one is that Emily Blunt's not in it. Oh. Drop me nuts. Has success changed your life? Yes. A jam butty. I wonder how much of it was improvised. Or were the improvised bits, or the bits that look like they're improvised, scripted? Aren't you being rather arbitrary? There was definitely some Mimo in there from John whilst he's supposed to have been singing. So I was going to say, the soundtrack sound for him tapping the drums, it's because of the bloody earphone, isn't it? Earpiece. Of course it's slightly out. There's also far too much drumming. Seeing he's just basically just tapping one drum. He does, I'd forgotten about that line. It's the same year as Goldfinger as well, I think, 64. Yeah, because we read it out of the book earlier on. I hate that screaming. There's a lot of screaming as well at the beginning. I'm going to have another copy. while we're on a musical bit and not much is happening. Here's Victor Spinetti. Got that bloody jumper. That jumper is unreal, how hairy it is. Why is it handy? Oh, sorry, you can tell Phil about the about your dinner pinging. What's a cum heading? It's Derek Nimmo. He's just killed one of his doves there. Just a Costa, but in a from a coffee machine. So just an Americano. Here we go. Here's the famous fire escape scene. I think this is possibly the only bit I've seen properly. Much for money, money can't buy me love. Everyone, come on. Don't care too much for money. No, but, it can pay the rent, can't it? And, I wouldn't complain, to be honest. Oh, well, you're all right for coffee about the next week then, Hazel, aren't you? Oh, if I was at work, what time are we at? 11:40. This was a work day. I'd have probably had one, two. I might have had four by now. Cameraman's shoes there. I think more bands should release albums and then make films about them, but in the style of what that band is. So we could have like Coldplay would do some kind of like really serious, um, like Battleship Potemkin style earnest film, while singing Yellow or something. I don't know. Yeah, that is true. That is true. They did, and Spice World is horrendous, and yet if you watch it, you can't stop watching it. I mean, the bit where Michael Barrymore shows up as like some kind of sergeant major guy. Wow. I mean, I don't. Was even Michael Barrymore popular when he was in that film? And it was pre swimming pool, I think, wasn't it? But it just now there's a film that hasn't aged well. I mean, they ran off just to like run about on a bloody school field for a bit. Oh, it's awful. Is it really? It's a strange, like, internal monologue bit. Have you watched Moon Knight yet? Phil and Hazel. I saw the first episode last night. Not sure why it's taken me so long to watch it, but there you go. It's really good. Really enjoyed it. Um, like completely different. And the trailer makes it look like Oscar Isaac's British accent is rubbish, but actually it's really good. Yeah, really interesting. Like the action scenes in it are handled in a really really interesting way. Oh, I've heard that Morbius is absolutely atrocious. Um, we'll wait for that to come on something like streaming wise, and then we'll do a live watch. I think of Morbius. That's that bloke in the background there. He looked like a young Rory Kinnear, but clearly it's not. I can't think who it is. He's in. Who is it? He's quite really famous. That bloke in the background there. Fussed about seeing it. I've got to watch it because it's terrible. You've got to see the terrible ones as well. Kurkurama. No, it's not Roy Kinnear. It's someone completely different. Um, but he does look like him, and he's in loads of stuff, and I can't think who he is. That's the first time I've ever realised that grotty is short for grotesque. A Hard Day's Night's taught me something. Yeah, yeah. It's private property. Sorry for hurting your field, mate. Although it clearly looked like it was a sports field, so I don't know why it was private property. A resident teenager. Now it's like a satire on modern influencers now. Where's the calendar? It's stuck to the wall. It doesn't go anywhere. Chosen. He says is essence and like moist and tissue. That was the opera part. Who on earth was that? Very clean man. Right, so obviously the Beatles are in it. Sorted by credit order, so let's have a look. Good old Victor Spinetti. Anna Quayle, that's exactly who that was. Oh no, he mustn't. Whoever that was mustn't be listed because Derek Guy. If it's in credit order, no, it's in credit order, not order of appearance. As I was saying, Derek Guyler's not been on it yet. Let's have a look. I can't wait for Lionel Blair to crop up. Has he even got a credit, that bloke who I'm looking for? No. Oh, that's really annoying. Apparently Phil Collins is in this, uncredited. Just like in the background. Must only have been a kid. Charlotte Rampling's at the disco. No, I can't see who it was. Oh, flew for next year. Brilliant. Are you planning on releasing it? Great. I'll consider myself muted. Spinetti in his jumper again. Standing about, eh? Christ, once you're over 30, you're past it. Well, that's it's hit to the heart. Yes, I realise it's purchasing vaccine for it. I didn't think you were really releasing the new strain into the world. I'm not one of those crazies. Not yet, anyway. Give it time. Do my own research. It's a microphone there. Looks like a shower head. One of those 80s ones, like the plastic. My watch keeps telling me to stand up, despite the fact I've been stood up and like out and about this morning. Cause I love her. Bum 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 bum. I don't know why George is stood like that. Ah, Hazel's dinner's ready, so Phil's taking it up to her. That's why he's back shortly. We're into the middle kind of slow song moment. Big close-ups of Paul's little baby face. When I was at primary school, when I was at junior school, um, there was a lad about 2 years above me. So I'd have been, what, 7? He'd have been about 9 or 10. Spitting image of Paul McCartney, he was. Like, uncanny. A 9-year-old Paul McCartney. Madness. Again, I was going to say his plucking of the strings is out, but it's because of the earpiece. Although the mouths are relatively, well, I don't know. Perhaps it's not. Perhaps it is the weird soundtracky bit. In fact, this is possibly the most in sync one we've done so far with the earpiece, based on the singing mouth. It's that little proper pout he does. Boom, 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 boom. McCartney there. Loaded potato skins, cheese and bacon. Oh, look at that. Comed. I think that's the 4th, 5th Comed we've had. There's lots of like threatening people. Was that a reference to Wilfrid Bramble's homosexuality? That he's reading the Queen, that's an in joke, and we immediately go to Wilfrid. Wilfred's Irish accent's very in and out. Wilfred Bramble, yes, famously gay. He was arrested for cottaging during Steptoe and Son years. They didn't know if it would end the show. Here's Lionel Blair. Bloody hell, he must be about 12 years old. Look at him. Nice bit of Lionel jazz dancing. Good God, I don't think I've ever seen Lionel Blair looking so young. Is that? I want to see more Lionel Blair dancing. When this dance is through, I think I'll be in love with you. There we go. That was the 60s for you, wasn't it? In the Tim bath, yeah. Just to wash his teeth in the Tim bath as well. I've got the complete Steptoe and Son on DVD. We should stream those. Well, as complete as it can be. Like the earlier seasons, I've lost episodes, but yeah. And the complete Hancock. We should do some classic comedy streaming. As if 1001 films between now and 50 isn't enough. Do you know what I mean? But this is our. I said it earlier on, but you'd have missed it. This is our 21st live 1001 stream since January. I've only just noticed there's some actual pictures of Beatles on the back. I like the one where I think I've got two favourites. There's the one with Leonard Rossiter in as the escaped convict, and I like the one where Albert has to dress up as his own wife because he's been claiming her benefits for God knows how long. They don't look like they want to show the stamp collection. Come on, Grandad. And of course, Harry H. Corbett died before Wilfrid Bramble as well, despite him being a proper old fella. The old tomato sauce wound joke. Another joke about Ringo's big nose. There's a bit of Paul O'Grady about Wilfrid Bramble, or vice versa. Not in the teeth, obviously. Christ. Oh, bloody tombstones. When did you last give a girl a pink hedge daisy? I think I've ever done that. Into books. Ringo's definitely the best actor. I don't believe Ringo Starr's ever read a book. Bloody hell, being middle-aged and old takes up most of your time. It certainly does. Because that's how long it takes me to get out of bed. Just did a Hitler salute there. Lots of smoking as well. It's Ringo walking out before the big show, kind of foreshadowing George walking out before the big show on the rooftop in years to come. I need to finish off watching Get Back. Only done the first episode. There you go. Obviously, oh, you've not been living your life, Ringo. So he goes out and just takes some photos of some milk bottles. That's what I would do in order to. And now he's being chased up the road by some women she's just proper a leg then. It's like everyone keeps stopping. That girl proper falls over at the beginning. She looked like she really twisted her ankle. Is this Derek Guyler here? This copper? Shorty. That can't have been Derek Guyler. There was no dialogue. Is the camera going in the water? Yes, it is. My mum once dropped our camera in the 80s into the moat that ran round the gorilla enclosure at Chester Zoo. It was on top of our cool bag that had our picnic in, and she lifted up the lid without thinking, and in it plopped. It's like one of those, like the thin 80s cameras. You get your old, your filming. It's one of those. I remember saying at the time, oh, there'd have been some good photos on that too. And then you realise that my mum at that time, was that Derek Guyler? My mum at that time was probably about 10 years younger than I am now, if not more. Oh, this is the bit with the kid on the at the canal. It's on me wick. Yeah. Ding dong. Eddie's good at spitting and punching. Oh, Charlie! This is by far the best bit down the canal here. This could be like this could be out like a 60s kitchen sink drama. This could be like from Look Back in Anger or something. Not quite, but you know what I mean. Another another threat to beat somebody up. If he says that again, I shall strike him. Little Ringo. His curled up sandwich. Is he eating that? Christ, no, don't eat that. Shove it, ain't he? It's for a bit of fluff. It's a really good film for like showing the times. It's like a proper slice of the '60s. In a not real life type way, but it's Ringo left-handed as well. You're bad. I thought finally a copper. This must be Derek Garlett. No, I'm obsessed with Spinetti's jumper. I love it. John Junkin there with his receding hairline. He looks like he's in his 50s, and I bet he's not. I bet he's only in his 30s. Oh, definitely. She doesn't have to finish Wall Street. She can tick it off. it was it was awful. Absolutely awful. I think it's the worst one we've done since we started. And there's been a couple where I've questioned why they should be on there. But Wall Street is only on there for the greed is good part for Michael Douglas's Oscar. It's terrible. I think Secret of My Success with Michael J. Fox in is a better film about 80s business than Wall Street is. The old, she's going to fall through a massive. She's going to fall down a huge hole here, isn't she? Is that going to be the gag? It is. There you go. And then the Vicar of Dibley ripped it off years later. Here's Derek Guyler, come on! Acting in a suspicious manner. Oh, little savages, eh? Oh, there you go. Get your genuine autographed Beatles photos. Sadism. Great tash on Derek Guyler there. Have they roughed you up yet? Watch out for your brisket. Photographs, eh? Oh, this is how Ringo's going to get out, isn't it? Not even under arrest. Half an hour? They started at 5 past, that's really weird. An odd place to start. Do da ba da ba da ba da. There you go. Shuts out. You could say I'm his grandfather. We've got a jazz version of Hard Day's Night now. Bucket on his head here. There we go. Round the ladders. And he could be shouting Paul's name now, couldn't he? He'll be pulp by now. Of course he will. Quickest 10 minutes ever, huh? What's he? Not rest. There we go. Surely he's gone that bike. No, that bike was there for no reason. Car thief. Now this is mentioning Vicar of Dibley. Everything has a link. This is the guy who plays Frank in the Vicar of Dibley. who also plays in Superman 3, the guy selling the Leaning Tower of Pisa's, and then he straightens it up, doesn't he? And he smashes them all, and then he's selling straightened ones, then he leans it again, he smashes them all up again. There you go. Just because everything has a link. Everything has a link. Not that there's anything that links this to Vicar Dibley other than that joke of that woman falling in that big hole. Breathless and running off. Did they just explain it? It's like it's going to be Blues Brothers now, but without the cars. I don't care too much for money. We've had this one once. That old woman in the window there, amazing. Clearly just having a look. What's going on across the road? Lads! The news in Welsh. It's clean. Cup of tea. Couldn't be more British, could it? Right, I'm assuming this last 10 minutes now, we just get a couple of songs, do we? I never understood why they couldn't just got George another microphone. Why he had to share Paul's all the time. Just lots of looks from the audience there. Why do you cry and why do you lie to me? That's what we all want to know. Victor Spinetti there dancing in the old producer's box. Lots of all this. Just bouncing up and down. It's a very high pitched bit. Here we go. Another song now. And we've had this one before as well. Well, I bet it shipped loads of albums, this. That I think this is the only problem I have with it, that they've repeated some songs that we've had earlier on. And Paul looks like he's cut himself shaving. Lots of close-ups of strumming. See, I couldn't have been in the Beatles because my hair wouldn't control itself. Well, it's bad enough as it is, but it wouldn't have been able to do that mop toppy business. I'd have been all right in the Smiths, but not in the Beatles. Should have known better than a girl like you. Haven't we had this one before as well? We have. This is the one that were playing cards at the beginning. I'm done now, I think. It can wind up now if we're just getting songs we've heard before. It's quite an easy one for John, this. He just has to sing and play the harmonica and just wear his guitar like the world's biggest necklace. Paul's got a sweat on there as well. And he had a broken string then, I think, as well. George's weird little side to side dance with his feet there. Hey, hey, hey. He is. It'd be nice if they'd all brought a grandparent or just some relation. I wonder what Paul's real granddad thought of the portrayal. Why is he handcuffed to John Junkin? It's just stop him from running off. Some weird shots of the audience there, backwards and forwards. She loves you, yeah, yeah. And with a love like that, well, I saw her yesterday. She was in Asda. She was buying cucumbers. She said she loves you. This must seem really odd watching it with no music or anything. some really odd close-ups of them on the screens on the monitors. Just heads. I mean, I'm surprised there weren't more balcony collapses in the old theatres back in the 60s if everyone was just shouting and generally screaming and jumping about. More Beatle concert deaths. I know. Well, that's why I've had to try. That's why I've had to cut it out. I couldn't put. YouTube wouldn't let my Liberty Valance video go on because up he comes through the trapdoor. Weird. Because Paramount put a copyright claim on because you could hear it in the background. So I'm surprised I've not had one on here with the earlier ones where you could hear, or for any of the watchathons even. But I've not. Here we go. This must be the end. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go. So it says in the book that the Beatles is never mentioned as the name of the band. But you do see it written down loads. So it's not as if, just because they don't say it out loud. Seems an odd thing to mention in the write-up. Why are they stressed out? Surely it's been quite successful. Straight on to Wolverhampton. Come at! Oh, it is. It is right to be in the list, absolutely. Because I don't think there's any other... obviously, there's other musicals in the list, but there's nothing like this in the list. Whereas we've got 1,000 westerns, haven't we? And bloody loads of other stuff. It's very much it captures a time, doesn't it? I enjoyed that. It was funny as well. And obviously it ends with a helicopter. Who doesn't like a film that doesn't end with a helicopter? And there we go. That's it. That's the end. And some kind of classic Beatles imagery as well. Particularly these photos at the end. Good old George Martin there. Yes, another one down. Tomorrow is with Shane. Shane's our 30th since we started in January. I think I've said this about 14 times during this stream. Probably say even more tomorrow morning. So good that we're doing a classic, I think, for the 30th one we've done as well. It's just pictures now. We might as well wait until the pictures are finished. Particularly as Hard Day's Night's on, and I quite like that one. They do. It's not. It's almost like a flip book effect at the end there as well. Here we go. Get the cast list. Oh, nice. It'd be nice to have some company. Good old Lionel Blair. Love that Lionel Blair bit. It was so good. There you go. That is the end. Made at Twickenham Studios, London, England. We're done. That's number 260 charts off. See you tomorrow.